Welcome to Chasing Curiosity TV. Subscribe and press the bell icon for more updates. The South China Sea is a vital artery for global trade, connecting East Asia with the world and carrying trillions in goods each year. Any disruption here sends shockwaves through global supply chains. Beneath its surface lie vast reserves of oil and gas, fueling competition among China, Vietnam, Malaysia, and the Philippines. Overlapping claims and the lure of energy independence create a tense, confrontational environment. The sea is also a lifeline for millions who depend on its rich fishing grounds, now threatened by overfishing and territorial disputes. Industrial fleets, often backed by coast guards, are depleting stocks and escalating tensions. The South China Sea is a stage for geopolitical rivalry, where the interests of major powers collide. The US has long guaranteed freedom of navigation, but China's rising power and sweeping claims challenge this order. This maritime crossroads is now a litmus test for the future of the Asia-Pacific. The actions of navies, coast guards, and fishing fleets here will shape the region's security for decades. The world is watching as the fate of these waters will impact us all. China's 9-dash line claims nearly the entire South China Sea, disregarding international law and a 2016 tribunal ruling. To enforce its claims, China uses gray zone tactics, deploying Coast Guard and maritime militia to intimidate neighbors without open conflict. These forces swarm disputed reefs, block fishermen, and disrupt oil exploration by Vietnam and Malaysia. China's island-building campaign has turned reefs into military outposts, shifting the region's strategic balance. These artificial islands now host runways, ports, and advanced sensors, extending China's reach deep into Southeast Asia. Southeast Asian nations face a dilemma. China is their top trading partner, but they cannot surrender their maritime rights. They walk a tightrope, resisting Chinese pressure while avoiding direct confrontation. This has pushed them to seek new partnerships and bolster their own defenses. The South China Sea is now a chessboard with every move watched closely by the world. The stakes are high and the region's future hangs in the balance. The challenge stands firm without sparking a crisis. The search for allies has never been more urgent. The Philippines sits on the front line of the South China Sea dispute, its exclusive economic zone overlapping with China's claims. Filipino fishermen face constant harassment from Chinese Coast Guard vessels, threatening their livelihoods and national pride. The Philippine Navy and Coast Guard are outmatched, operating aging ships with limited capabilities. The BRP Sierra Madre, a grounded Wanu-era ship on Second Thomas Shoal, stands as a lonely outpost of Philippine sovereignty. Chinese blockades make resupplying its marines a dangerous flashpoint. The psychological toll is immense. Vulnerability fuels nationalism and demands for a stronger defense. News of Chinese aggression stirs anger and anxiety across the country. The consensus is clear. The Philippines must modernize its armed forces and defend its maritime rights. The struggle for the South China Sea is not just about territory, it's about survival and dignity. The Philippines is determined to stand its ground. The world is watching how it responds. The US-Philippine alliance, rooted in the 1951 Mutual Defense Treaty, has long shaped Manila's security. For decades, US bases at Subic Bay and Clark Air Base projected American power and shielded the Philippines. This reliance left the Philippine military focused on internal threats, neglecting maritime defense. The closure of US bases in the 1990s created a strategic vacuum, soon filled by China's assertiveness in the South China Sea. The occupation of Mischief Reef in 1995 was a wake-up call. US support alone was not enough to deter Chinese expansion. Recent years have tested the alliance, with Philippine leaders questioning US reliability and seeking a more independent foreign policy. While the treaty remains, Manila now recognizes the need to build its own strength and diversify security partnerships. This shift has opened the door to new relationships, especially with Japan. The Philippines is no longer content to rely solely on old alliances. It's forging new paths to secure its future. The US remains a key partner, but it's no longer the only one. The region's security landscape is changing fast. Japan's constitution once limited its military to self-defense, but China's rise has forced a strategic rethink. Japan depends on South China Sea shipping lanes for energy and trade. Any disruption threatens its economy. Now, Japan is taking a more proactive security role, supporting allies and partners through collective self-defense. Tokyo's new security assistance programs help Southeast Asian nations boost maritime awareness and law enforcement. Shared concerns about China have aligned Japan with countries like the Philippines and Vietnam. Japan's strategy strengthened partners' maritime capabilities to indirectly bolster its own security. This isn't about building a formal alliance, but about providing equipment, training, and expertise. Transfers of patrol vessels, aircraft, and now warships are central to this approach. Japan is stepping up as a responsible regional stakeholder. Its support helps partners help themselves and protects Japan's own interests. The era of Japanese passivity is over. Tokyo is now a key player in the region's security. The transfer of 2 Abukuma-class destroyer escorts from Japan to the Philippines is a milestone in regional security. These are not just patrol boats, they're capable warships, a major upgrade for the Philippine Navy. Their arrival signals a deeper strategic partnership between the two maritime democracies. For Manila, these ships are game changers, serving as new flagships and boosting patrol capabilities. Their presence sends a clear message. The Philippines is serious about defending its sovereignty, and it's not alone. For Japan, this is a historic first, transferring lethal military equipment of this class to another country. It marks Tokyo's emergence as an independent security actor, no longer operating solely in America's shadow. The Abukuma-class ships are versatile, capable of anti-submarine, anti-surface, and limited anti-air warfare. They're strong enough to deter, but not so powerful as to provoke. This transfer is a carefully calibrated move, enhancing defense without escalating tensions. The tides are shifting in the Indo-Pacific. Japan and the Philippines are charting a new course together. The Abukuma-class ships give the Philippine Navy a leap in technology and firepower. Armed with rapid-fire main guns and Harpoon anti-ship missiles, they offer credible long-range strike capability for the first time. Their advanced sonar, ASROC rockets, and torpedo tubes provide critical anti-submarine warfare capacity. This helps the Philippines counter submarine threats in the deep waters of the South China Sea. Modern radar and electronic warfare systems boost maritime domain awareness, allowing the Navy to monitor a much wider area. These upgrades are vital for everything from fisheries enforcement to crisis response. Just as important is the comprehensive training and maintenance support from Japan. Filipino crews will gain the skills to operate and sustain these complex ships. This partnership builds long-term institutional capacity and ensures the ships remain combat-ready. The impact will be felt for years, strengthening the Philippines' naval power. This is more than a hardware transfer, it's a transformation. The Philippine Navy is entering a new era. Japan's transfer of warships is part of a broader trend, minilateralism in the Indo-Pacific. Countries like Japan, the Philippines, Australia, and India are forming flexible security partnerships, complementing the U.S. alliance. The U.S. remains the region's ultimate guarantor, but now encourages allies to do more for their own defense. A stronger Japan and Philippines make the alliance network more resilient. This integrated deterrence allows the U.S. to focus on high-end threats, while partners handle regional security. For Manila, diversifying security partners reduces vulnerability and strengthens its bargaining position. The Philippines can now draw on support from multiple sources, creating a more robust defense posture. This shift also impacts ASEAN, encouraging coalitions of the willing to address direct threats. It may push ASEAN to take a more assertive role in regional security. The Indo-Pacific security architecture is evolving fast. New partnerships are shaping the future. The arrival of the Abukuma-class warships is about more than hardware. It's about defending a rules-based order. The South China Sea dispute pits China's vision of power against a vision rooted in international law, especially UNCLOS. By strengthening the Philippine Navy, Japan helps level the playing field and enforce legal rights. A stronger Navy raises the cost of aggression, making coercion less attractive. This reinforces the 2016 arbitral ruling, giving it practical weight. Legal decisions matter only if nations have the means to uphold them. The transfer strengthens the framework of international maritime law, benefiting all who rely on open seas. The future of the South China Sea depends on the collective will of nations committed to a free and open Indo-Pacific. Middle powers like Japan are now decisive actors in shaping regional security. The goal isn't to contain China, but to ensure its rise fits within international law. The seas must remain a global common, open to all.